For those of you who've only just sort of stumbled across this little YouTube channel of mine, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to go back through time and try and miss out on some of the... get the sentence the right way around for it to make sense. Hey, it's LJ and welcome to another edition of LJ Reacts. For those of you who've only just stumbled across this little YouTube channel, it's fairly straightforward. All I'm trying to do is go back through time to try and discover some like the pop culture events that have somehow passed me by through the process of me trying to grow up and adult in this world. So anything from the last sort of 10-15 years, a lot of it, I don't know, just I seem to have missed out on, at least to some degree. So I'm doing these little YouTube clips just so I can try and catch up with some of the stuff I've missed. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget you can like, share, subscribe. You know how this works if you've been on YouTube long enough. Basically, it doesn't take a lot of time or effort on your part, but if you like it and you share it and someone else likes it and they share it, that brings more people to the channel. The more people come to the channel, the more motivation I have to do this, and so the more product I will be prepared to pump out, which if you shared it because you liked it, it means you get more of what you like, so everyone wins. If you want to keep in contact with what I'm doing at all times, I try and be fairly active on the socials, so you can check me out there. Some I'm more active on than others, but that's because I don't think Elon Musk deserves any of my money. Aside from that, occasionally I do trips out into the real world. Yeah, every Thursday I'm at Traveller's Joy in Brayley and Essex doing their little quiz. I'm also refereeing on the 31st of May for Talks With Dorks podcast, presenting their first ever live wrestling event with Never Say Die. All more information and the ticket links are on my little link tree there. And if you're feeling generous, if you feel like the probably hours by the time I've got around to properly editing this that I've put into doing this is deserving of some sort of fiscal reward, well, you can chuck some cash in the tip jar. It doesn't have to be much, just coffee or a sandwich. I'd say a price of a beer, but living in a city, no, it covers maybe half a beer. The joy of city life, eh? Alright, so let's crack on with what we're doing today. So my current release schedule is I try and do 2 a week, one sort of possibly more known artist, one lesser known artist. It's not quite worked out perfectly like that the last couple of weeks due to a number of issues, both technical and personal, which have kind of conflicted and meant I haven't had the time to prepare all the videos, so that's why last week there was just the one. Hopefully this week I can make up for that. But yes, so this week this is going to be a lesser known band. No particular reason for choosing them, although they may have had some recent coverage in the news. I'm maybe trying to be a bit of a trend jumper. I mean, that's essentially what this whole channel is, me just trying to get with the cool kids. So, yeah, so there's this little band called Kneecap. Kind of got a punkish vibe to them from what I can pick up, although they're more hip-hop. So I've never heard anything of theirs. I think I've heard the name crop up a couple of times. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm picturing more Beastie Boys than like the Will Smith song I did the other week. But hey, we'll see. We'll see what comes out. Yeah, so the thing they're most notable for is political opinion. While I try and be kind of neutral on this channel, it doesn't always work. Just watch which I think my Prophets of Rage one, I may have hinted at some of my political leanings in that, and anyone who's ever seen me do stand up will have seen I can get quite political and I get quite deep into it. So this isn't supposed to be a political outlet, but occasionally I did get out there. So yeah, this is a band I thought I'd check out, see, whether our politics align. From what I can gather, one of the big, more controversial things about them is they believe in Irish republicanism. Now, it's not an issue I'm au fait with. I feel I'm a generation or two removed from having the right to give a fully fledged, well thought out opinion on this. Although, as someone whose mum was followed for several years by undercover police officers because of the troubles in Ireland for no other reason than because of her last name, I feel, there have been some things in that conflict that maybe the English were a bit too heavy-handed in. Like I said, I don't know enough about it to give a solid opinion, but I know the English, as I myself am, we have a history of not always being on the right side of it. Now, I'm, again, not condoning any actions either side took, but I can see why some people might not have sided with the Royalists. So that is... So like I said, I've not gone too much into the history of this band. Like I said, they have had a lot of controversy surrounding some of their political opinions. Most recently suing the government successfully here in the UK because someone tried to deny them funding simply because they didn't like them. And a judge sort of looked at it and said, no, that's not how this program works, which I found hilarious. So apparently they have done a film. I sort of noticed in the Wikipedia just there. So maybe if I get not too many death threats for this video, maybe I'll give that a look at some point in the next little while if I can track it down. So what am I doing today? I've literally just gone onto their YouTube channel, looked at one of the videos with the most views, and the name of it escapes me right now. It's where is it? It is called Better Way Than This to Live, which I think at the end of the day is something we all are looking for. I don't know about yourselves, but there are sort of elements of my life I'm like, there's got to be a better way of doing this whole thing. Like I said, until I give it a listen, I can't really give a thought on it. So bear with me while I fire it up, and let's get some thoughts and reactions happening, shall we? Yeah. Okay, here we are. This is Kneecap featuring Grian Chatten. Better Way to Live. Alright, let's fire this up, see how it looks.
Magic, and if there's a better way to live, I gotta have it. Because I think all day, but when I drink, I'm okay. Gets further away every time.
The Irish stereotype of drinking all your troubles in a bottle. I mean, it's most of us Brits have that to a degree because up until the last generation or so, that's just kind of been what we did. But yeah, I guess that's part of the reason, we kind of wanted we always want something better for ourselves, and we can't have it, so we just try and drink the blues away. It's When you put it like that, it sounds really depressing. But hey, that's let's see if I can sort of perk this up.
I'ma try grab it underneath all the chatter in this heaven. Got a little peak one day, made me feel like I was 7. I know it exists, but I can't stop getting pissed. One more thing, I'll be added to the list.
Frieri til jury, tackle mig rødt, mig vi lader mig og om sen ny, vi hæsler fuck, så var stråle droen for så alle. For det til kor, what do you know, it's my cara. I'm gonna be spending my dough tonight. 2 pints at a time, strolling about like dough.
Okay, that is prime white boy rap. As someone who struggles with his words, to be able to sort of fire out words with that sort of bam, 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 bam is something I could never see myself doing. It always impresses me every time I see someone else doing that. Like, I've seen sort of MC competitions where you've got people just spitting rhymes into the mic, just boom, 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 hey, boom, boom, boom. It always impresses me every time, just because it's something. The way I talk, I just can never see myself doing it. I just don't have the ability to do that. So, yeah.
Like Dolomite, but home for a shake. They're due, said you mark one push, man, or rocker, be it while you strapping you from Ugly Pop. And then we both jump down and do your class handstand like a man's man can. Foxland, listen to that, I'll be Ogin and Visha, Market G-Show. I'm on the upside of the seesaw.
Underneath all the thunder and there's magic. And if there's a better way to live, I gotta have it. Because I think all day, but when I drink, I'm okay. Gets further away every time I try grab it.
Loving the Irish flag balaclavas there, shouting out to the Irish Republican Army, but doing it with a more colourful look than what they did, rightly or wrongly.
Grab it underneath all the chatter in this heaven. Got a little peak one day, made me feel like I was 7. I know it exists, but I can't stop getting pissed. One more thing, I'll be added to the list.
Gevoel, ik mooi kostelijk gaak. Niet liggen maar net wat zo een jannetje stap. I was in agua, maar met je mogelijk bab. Karim mijn ray bound, turn to the back and my chat and never come along. But I and time going on, time till so well look is the karim again every time on. You shiri the young Gary Elu a second. There is acted that the back door with a text. Maar I hate to hand a crown tossy. A wide row, a respectful crew.
That's the laptop in the book. That just makes me think of all those people you see abusing like coffee shop Wi-Fi, trying to be in like films, in like film parodies where they're like being, oh, look at all these people trying to be screenwriters. I think Family Guy's I know Family Guy's done a good joke on that in one of their cutaways. Yeah, that is. Apparently that's something that doesn't really happen in America. Over here, you can, just sit in a pub or whatever, in like an afternoon or like a weekday evening, just with a couple of beers and just sort of work away at stuff, and it's just a thing you're doing. Over on the other side, I've had like Americans say to me, that's just an insane concept. That's a sign you have a problem. Over there, it's such a weird sort of culture thing we don't think about, because while the pub in its traditional form is dying, it's still, people, you see someone sort of sitting there doing something, just working through some stuff, be it paperwork or reading or whatever, just with a beer. It's just like, yeah, no, that's just the sort of thing we expect to see there, and we never sort of think anything else of it.
na goni mörni henen nästa koni janka bira jigla stalkies 5 fear blast all the nimi in them bjorky
Underneath all the thunder and there's magic, and if there's a better way to live I gotta have it. Because I think all day, but when I drink I'm okay. Gets further away every time I try grab it. Underneath all the chattering there's heaven. Got a little peak one day, made me feel like I was 7. I know it exists, but I can't stop getting pissed. One more thing I'll be added to the list.
In me as the hyun, kaida clicking in Narja, or Warner Dunn, take them Sega will and seal drum, as John her run. But we got one chance and then it's done. So be who he and speak your pain and receive the love. Don't let that cunts get ya. Don't surround yourself with ones that bless ya. Tog sack and tog on all not gonna sketch ya. It's great, get dang and go will and seal short, dead ya.
Underneath all the thunder and there's magic, and if there's a better way to live I gotta have it. Because I think all day, but when I drink I'm okay. Gets further away every time I try grab it. Underneath
I don't know why that lyric took so long to get to me. When I think all day, I just try and drink it away. That is kind of the omen of the alcoholic. The mantra of the alcoholic. Sorry, the mantra of the alcoholic.
I try grab it underneath all the chattering there's heaven. Got a little peak one day, made me feel like I was 7. I know it exists, but I can't stop getting pissed. One more thing I'll be added to the list.
Pretty sweet little bassline there. Okay, I guess give me a moment to mull this over, and I'll have some final thoughts ready to throw out at you. So that was Kneecap. I am not quite sure what I was expecting with that. I mean, I think I was expecting more of like a loud kind of sort of Beastie Boys vibe, just because of some of the political controversy surrounding them. The fact that that was quite sort of laid back. The Grian guy, I'm going to be honest, I have no idea which of the 2 vocalists that was. So, I mean, you can at me in the comments. I do try and read all of them. So, yeah, no, that's like I said, it did really sort of kind of bring home like there is. So it used to be a case of the British pub was like a communal thing. It's kind of less so now. It's kind of more just a case of it is just more people drinking alone together. That seems to be largely my experience, but I might be wrong. There may still be areas that is still a thing. Like I said, I live in essentially a small city, so you know we don't talk to strangers here unless either you're kind of crazy or that is the main reason for talking to strangers. In some parts of the world, strangers are friends you haven't met. Not in a British city. In a British city, a stranger is just someone you don't want to speak to. But yeah, like I said, the spitting out rhymes, like with the consistency that they were in the verses there, that's something that's always going to impress me. It's something I don't think I'd ever be able to do. Is a really impressive skill to me. So the song itself, yeah, I can. Like I said, I was loving like the bass backbeat. It kind of, I was enjoying sort of bobbing along to that. So yeah, I mean, I'm liking what I was hearing there. I mean, just because the band was expecting it to be more overtly political than it was, I mean there was quite a reasonable sort of degree of social commentary there, just about how you kind of sort of sink into yourself, hoping that there is a way that you can improve life. Whether or not it happens is, I mean, it falls latter. It falls more on one than the other, and unfortunately, I know at least in my own case, and several people I deal with, I know which one that is. but there's got to be some sense of balance in the world, right? I'm either going too philosophical here or just skimming the top of philosophy just to the point it's kind of irritating people who know what who know what I'm talking about better than I do. But yeah, as a song itself, that's quite a bit I could sort of get into. I could see myself just sort of, I could certainly, I mean, if they do have the sort of more sort of Beastie Boys style song in them, I'd definitely be interested in hearing which one of theirs sort of falls into that. But yeah, it's something I could see myself listening to more and more. But I'm not really a big hip hop guy. I mean, I've sort of put myself as like metalhead in a lot of like the video titles because that tends to be the genre I lean more in the direction of. I mean, maybe I'm not so much now. I'm older, but definitely at one point I was very much big sort of into like sort of Iron Maiden and sort of Judas Priest and maybe sort of Black Sabbath. And he's leaning towards like hard rock, like AC/DC and Jimi Hendrix. So something with this sort of vibe is a different flow to what I would have been into when I was younger. But I think lyrically, where it is saying about how there was that bit where they're like you can't let them bring you down. That is like a message that needs to get out there because unfortunately there are people who do seem to just enjoy dragging you down. That seems to be the sort of thing that they enjoy doing, is bringing other people down like that, which is a sad state of affairs when you think about it that way. Where else can I go from here? Like I said, if they did a lot of songs like this, I don't know if I would listen to all of them. But if this is sort of a bass line and there is like something like slightly heavier, or ones that are more sort of overtly political, not just socio-political, but more sort of activist political, that would probably pique my interest too. So yeah, the song itself, I think I'm gonna float around a 7 for it. I'm not a fan. Unfortunately, the only time I've ever not given a number for a song has been in an unaired pilot of this I did, and I think I flubbed this whole thing up by bringing this in, but I feel I have to keep doing it now. But yeah, it's I'm gonna stick it around a 7 just because it's like I said, I feel it's a good sort of introduction to them. There is stuff in there that impressed me with the vocalists. I feel the message is good, but it's not one that sort of reaches out and grabs me. And but yeah, if this is sort of like a baseline of the quality I can expect from Kneecap stuff, I'd sort of give some of their other stuff a go. If this is their peak, it's like, well, a lot of bands can't even hit that. So 7 out of 10, it's not a bad score. So yeah, I'm gonna curb it there. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, feel free to like, share and subscribe, all the YouTube goodness. And check me out on social media. You can see me in public on the details listed on the link tree, and if you're feeling really good and really generous, you can chuck some cash in the tip jar just to keep me ticking over. So that has been that. Until next time, I don't think there's anything else to say other than, I don't know, Free Palestine. bit emotional.
Underneath all the thunder and there's magic. And if there's a better way to live, I gotta have it. Because I think all day, but when I drink I'm okay. Gets further away every time I try grab it underneath.
So yeah, I don't know what quite I was expecting. I don't know if that quite matched up. And why I'm paranoid though? No, it is still good. Okay. I've just noticed it's only coming through in mono. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Thanks for sticking around for the end of the video. For those of you wondering why I'm doing this again, it's very, very simple. So, I've got an event coming up which features a lot of content creators, and basically, I just wanted to be one of the cool kids, just for a little bit longer. So, for those of you who live in the Essex area, you can catch me in the referee stripes for Talks With Dorks podcast, their debut British wrestling show, Never Say Die, featuring some of the top wrestling content creators out there, including Parky Streams, Danielle's Games, Max's Wrestling Channel, The Cosplay Nightmare, The Goonie Dad, AJ Slambino, Stone Cold Stolly, and JC Wrestle Talk. They will all be taking part in this show in various roles. Goonie Dad and AJ Slambino will be making their tag team debut. Like I said, I'll be the head referee, and the rest will be finding jobs for. They'll be being announced over the next few weeks. So check it out. I should have chucked the ticket link in the description below. So yeah, that's Basildon Sport and Basildon Sport and Leisure even. 31st of May. Talks with Dorks, Never Say Die. Why are we calling that? Well, 40th anniversary of the Goonies. So